Hello, in this video we're taking apart the PS4 Pro Red Dead Redemption 2 version. It's a new model number CUH-7215. I'm not going to bore you with the unboxing or any type of silly reviews because there's a lot more people who do that a lot better than I do. So I think the biggest change in this that a lot of people are happy about, I read online, is the fan noise, which was a really big problem with the first two versions of PS4 Pro. So of course from the outside it looks the same, but what really matters is what's inside. And to get inside, we have to take apart a couple of screws. Start by taking the hard drive out. Security screw. And the rest just clips off. Just looking at it from right here, it looks kind of the same as the previous version, 7115. They have that S-shaped heatsink clamp instead of the X. I could tell that the fan is a Delta fan, it's not a Nidec fan. A lot of people think that Nidec is a lot quieter. So let's dig deeper. There's a lot of screws to go through. And they all look the same. They now have silver heads. Started counting, but I lost count, so I have no idea how many of the T8s those were. At the end, I'll make a chart of all of the parts and point out what were the similar parts, what was different, if they're interchangeable. really doubt they're going to be interchangeable. Anytime they change something, can't use the old one with it. Okay, I think that's all of them. It's like 25 or 30 screws. Right, now we can see the motherboard. This is definitely a new revision. It's called NVG001. Previously we've seen NVA and also NVB. So I don't know what happened to all the other letters, but I guess we're at G now. All the connectors look very similar. These few are for the disk drive and for the LED board that's on the side. And you have the power and the jack. And the fan is connected over here with this 3-pin. This slot is for the hard drive. So at this point, you need to go from the top and take out the power supply. Otherwise, you will end up messing up this area where the power supply is connected along with the 4-pin connector. Alright, this top just snaps off. Sometimes it comes out hard, sometimes it's super easy. From here, everything looks the same, but I forgot to show you in the beginning of the video, this power supply has a smaller power connector compared to the other ones, which are a lot bigger. So the power supply is definitely different. Easiest way to get power supply out is just give it a little push there. Now work your fingers. Then you can unplug the power connector. Take your motherboard out. At the end of the video, I'll compare the 3 different motherboards along with the power supply that we took out compared to the first two versions, and also the disk drive. The fan looks like they used the same one as in previous models, so I don't know how it got a lot more quiet. It's probably using less power. We'll find out. We'll open the power supply up and take a look as well. This is the heatsink. Looks about the same as the 7115 version. Over here is the disk drive and the fan. It looks very close, very similar to the 7115 version. The fan is definitely the same. They haven't changed anything about it. I've taken a lot of these fans out of 7115 consoles. Yeah. It's made by Delta. It's the same exact model number. And that's the disk drive. Really, everything looks about the same. We're gonna have to dive in a lot deeper to see if there is a difference and what the differences are. You can take this apart further if you take out the plastic trim and remove the buttons and the LED board. But I'm not going to do that in this video. Model number for this new power supply is ADP300FR. If you compare them to the older versions, this one is the newest one we just took out. This is the 7115. This is from 7015, the first revision of PS4 Pro. Both of the previous models used the big power connector, and now they switched over to a smaller one. So what we'll do is open and see why they switched it out. Okay. So everything looks about the same. Only difference I can tell is I really can't tell the difference. I wonder if they're using a less powerful fuse or a less rated fuse. And that's the reason why they have a smaller connector. It might be generating a lot less heat inside of the power supply. Let's take another one apart. The 7115. This one is model number ADP300ER. And the fuse is rated the same, 6.3 amps. Okay, so I've noticed three changes. And I can't imagine that makes so much of a big deal, but it must. There's a capacitor that's missing from over here. There's no heatsink on these two MOSFETs. See, there's a capacitor missing. This one has a heatsink, that one does not. And also there's one less transformer. So all of that must equal to using a different plug that creates less heat. And this coil is a lot smaller. This one is a lot smaller than what's on here. Okay, now the disk drive, I'll show you the previous versions. This is the new one we took out from 7215. This one is from 7115. And this right here is from 7015, the original version. Back when only these two existed, the easiest way to tell the difference was looking at this small circle. This one has a line going across it, and this does not. However, the new one also has that line going across. So we'll look at the back. Flex cables look identical. The only thing I suspect might have changed is the sensor motor, because they keep updating that one. We'll find out. does look like they changed that motor. But everything else looks to be the same. Same laser, same roller, same gears. It's just that model number of that new roller is NLD006. And the previous model was NLD005. I know that these motors are not interchangeable, and that means the disk drives are not interchangeable, even though the flex cables are exactly the same. Last thing we'll take a look at is the hard drive. I think this was a 1 terabyte version, so I don't expect anything super fancy. The hard drive caddy is exactly the same as the 2 previous versions of the Pro. And the hard drive they use is, this one's by Seagate. It says Mobile HDD, 1 terabyte. It's a lot lighter than every other model that they have used before. I've seen them use Toshiba and HGST, I think they're called. So I guess it shaves a couple of grams off of the weight. That's nice. Maybe it creates less heat. Overall, even though a lot of people are saying this one is quieter, the fan has not been changed or updated. The disk drive only got a different sensor motor, which is this right here. The overall housing is about the same size. The motherboard is the same size. Once in a while you'll see them using a smaller footprint, but this appears to be the same size as the last one, which was the NVB. And I have one for you. Right here as comparison. So if you look at them, they look the same. Even the cutouts and the holes are the same. It might be the same exact design. Yep. Let's see if they're using the same Wi-Fi chip. Oh no, it looks like the Wi-Fi chip was changed. It might just be a different revision. It looks the same. Same size. Another thing that might have changed is the south bridge. They're using one that's a lot more power efficient. This one ends with 42GG, the NVB board. And right here, the NVG board, the newest one, ends with 46GG, so that one has been changed. It might be drawing a lot less power, or it's able to manage the power a lot better, and therefore creates less heat. Or just, the fan doesn't have to run as fast or as loud as the previous versions had to. Good thing for repairmen, the HDMI port has not changed. It looks to be the same. So now all of the Slims and all the Pros use the same HDMI revision. That's 6 different boards, same HDMI port. It's really good for repairs. Okay, that's it for this video. Unless you want to hang out and see a reassembly. Thank you for watching. If you took apart your PS4 and you have any questions about putting it back together, just let me know. I could probably identify whatever screw you're missing, help you figure out where it goes, which order to put it in. It's easy the first time around to take it apart, but putting it back together is not that easy. I think the same thing goes for everything you take apart the first time. So PS4s are not that hard to put back together because they'll let you know if you're doing a bad job. Just won't fit. I'm not sure where I lost you. I think my phone was saying low battery. So I'm sorry, you might have missed a couple of steps of me putting it back together. But now I put the fan back in place, the disk drive, the bottom shield. I applied the brand new paste for the heatsink. And now I'm going to put on the clamp. Try not to over tighten that because you'll strip the screws or it won't make the proper contact for the thermal paste. That one has to wait. These can go in now. We could put the power supply back in now. When you take your power supply out, always be careful. You can't just, make love to it like this and hold it in all kinds of different positions. These capacitors get super charged up and they will hurt you. sorry about that. It looks like my phone keeps saying low battery, so the video cuts off. What I was doing was putting back together the power supply, and and now that part is done. So I'll go ahead and put together the top metal frame. From here, it's extreme boredom because all you're going to be doing is screwing together about 25 different screws. It's not my favorite part of PS4s, but whatever, I guess. Something is not happy. There it is. Something's not happy there. I guess it's just a little bent. Okay, feels brand new. We lost these heat pads. Let's put them back. Why not? It's just these antennas. Here. I love the Xbox One X. They have huge heat pads. It looks pretty. I have no idea if it actually, if it does really help, or if, you know, it's just made to look good to whoever is looking, taking it apart. It can't cost that much, right? I don't know. Alright, so the trick I always use for these screws is, if they're going into metal, then you use machine screws with the finer thread. If they're going into plastic, you use the threads that are not fine and close together. I always do a few at a time of different ones in different places because I feel like it helps align the console. That way you don't have it all weird and funky. If you find yourself with an extra screw, just remember that's one that the manufacturer put in there, you know, just in case you lose screws. Just kidding. And we're gonna end up with extra screws, but I'll tell you where they're from, so you don't make the same mistake I did. I hope we only end up with 3 extra screws. Almost there. Let's put the hard drive back together. Hardest part of the console, putting back together the hard drive. Okay, all done. So, 3 screws we missed. 1, 2, and 3. That one's from the power supply. These 2 are to secure down the plate that goes on top of the fan and the disk drive. So I missed putting those on. This system is our test system. It's going to be taken apart and put back together a few times, so we'll get those in next. Thank you.